In What's New to BGA brings you Arboretum. We have 2 releases. This video is just about Arboretum. Arboretum is a 2 to 4 player card game where you're going to be collecting cards, trying to decide what cards to keep in your hand, which ones to play down on the table to score the most points. Arboretum is a very loved game, ranked 396 currently to 7.3 on BGG. Rated best with 2. That's what I've played all my games with. And you can see the weight there is 2.12. It is an easy game, but I feel like it's a game with a lot of thinking. Arboretum is a premium game. So during your turn, you have to draw 2 cards. At the start of the game, you'll have to draw from the draw pile, but you can always draw from either your discard pile or your opponent's discard pile. Then you're going to play 1 card onto your Arboretum. It's going to slowly grow out. As you place, you have to place next to a previous placed card. After you're done placing, you do have to discard 1 card into your discard pile. What you're trying to do in this game is you're going to be placing paths. A path has to begin with 1 color of tree and end with the same color of tree or species. They have to increase in value, but it doesn't have to be consecutive, and paths can include other trees like so. You can see the species located here. In a 4-player game, you use all 10, 3-player, 8, and then 2-player, you'll just use 6 different species. Much later in the game, but I actually have 4 paths going here. The green, the orange, pink, and purple are all going to be scoring if I hold the right cards. And the game ends once 1 player draws out the draw pile. Now, where the big part of this game comes in is cards in hand at the end of the game. To figure out who can score each set of trees, so you see here the blue spruce, you're going to look at each player's hand. I have 0 blue spruce in my hand. My opponent has a lot, has 21 blue spruce in his hand, so therefore he gets to score the blue spruce. My opponent has a 1 and a 4, they're touching, and it starts a lower number and goes higher, so these blue spruces can be scored. When scoring, you get 1 card for each card in the path, 1 additional point if there are 4 cards in the path, but they all have to be the same species. You get an additional point if the path begins with a 1, and then 2 additional points with an 8. So there, for his blue spruce, he scores 3 points because there's 2 cards and he has the 1. Now, nobody scored the yellow because my opponent does have a lot, 1 through 7, of the yellow tree there, and if he had the most yellow in his hands, he would score quite a few points for that. But since I had the 6 and the 8 in my hand and he had none of those in his hands, I blocked him from scoring. I have no yellow on my board, so I don't score any points, but I blocked him. I scored 4 points for my pink because I have 3, 5, 6, 7. That's 4 in a row. Sadly, this doesn't count as an additional, so it's just 4 points because this isn't the same species. Now, there is one last special scoring, the 1. If you hold the 1 in your hand and your opponent has the 8, like he does here, so here I only have 6 points, my opponent has 8. So in theory he would win, but since I kept the 1 in my hand, that actually blocks his 8. Both cards get discarded, and now I have 5 versus his none. So then I scored my purple, and that's really what won me the game. Actually, I won with cherry blossoms as well, but that did help. So I think this game is really interesting. I really like the fact of you have to try to hold cards in your hand. You're holding what your opponent's playing a lot of. He played a lot of these cards really early, and I had the 8, I think, really early on, so I was able to hold on to that and feel pretty secure, especially when he played the 1. I knew I had it in the bag. So you got to be careful of that. Sometimes you have to hold on to the 1 just to count people's 8s and so on. But it's a lot of fun. It's real light and simple, but there's quite a bit of thinking. And because of that, I'm going to give this one an 8. The game does play okay turn-based. The only reason I don't like it as much turn-based is there's a lot of actions back and forth, and there's a lot of stuff you have to try to remember. You know, basically what's in the discard is the big thing. You have to make sure you remember, like, if there's 1s that got discarded and so on. I know early on one of my colors, a 1, got in the discard pile, so I felt safe with it being down there, and I played the 8 because I knew the 1 was in the discard. So, well, I've been the Digital Board Gamer. Good luck and have fun.